everybody, Zongets 134 here.
Average Joe Squad here.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Hyphen, the show where we look at everything, movies, games, everything in between.
So today, and we're going to try to keep this one under an hour because, as we've discussed, a lot of our videos have run over a lot lately.
Well, at least an hour 20. I think hour 40 was a little bit much for our last one.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we talked a lot more about our honorable mention than we probably should have, but because our honorable mention could have been its whole on video.
Yeah, which probably will at some point.
Today we're going to be talking about media, movies, TV shows, music we like that people seemingly don't like. So, I mean, do you want to go first?
Yeah. Now I should reiterate, this is just purely our opinion, and if you like it, we're not saying that everybody doesn't like it. It's just
it seems to be a trend with people don't like it. One of ours definitely is a trend that a lot of people don't like it. So we'll get to it when we get to it.
I figure we could start with movies. Now, one that him and I both like that we feel a lot of people don't is probably Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. I was one of the people that when it came out, I actually thought 3 was better than 2. But granted, remember, I was in grade school when 3 dropped. And my central complaint with 2 when it came out, because when it came out, this is what I don't tell a lot of people. When 2 came out, I didn't really like it.
Yeah.
I actually thought 2 was worse than 1. Because to me, there was less action in 2.
Yeah.
It was more about the characters. And so when 3 came out, I was like, man, there's a lot more action. This is like what I wanted. Looking back on it now, I'm kind of like, why couldn't we have just gotten a little more action with the character study of 2? But, I'm not defending everything in 3.
Oh, no.
I mean, the dancing scene, I'm not even going to defend. I just think that's funny as hell, in my opinion.
For me, I like 3 just because I can see the good movie that's in it. Because really, 3's biggest problem is that it's really 2 movies in one. Because you have the whole Peter has the alien suit, Peter turns evil because of it, the eventual ripping it off. Like that part where Venom is first shown and it shows him like launching out with his teeth. I'm like, that should have been like that should have been where the credits should have
been the cliffhanger.
And then you lead into 4, which is the actual Venom movie.
I like Harry as the Goblin, even though I have issues with it. I'm not a big fan of the costume.
No, I don't know what they were doing. I
think they wanted to just avoid reusing the costume from the first movie, which I get, but at the same time, I mean, in the comics, Harry reuses almost all of Norman's stuff.
For me, it was like, hey, kids really like this paintball craze thing that's going on right now, right? So what if we just dress Harry up in paintball gear? Like that's all I look when I see him.
I mean, the different glider was kind of cool.
Well, I like that because it harkens back to when
he had the broomstick.
Yeah, when he had the broomstick looking thing.
So I mean, I like that. A lot of people don't like Kirsten Dunst's performance in this. I actually like it, but only because I'm a big fan of the whole storyline MJ had through all 3 movies, where she really deals with like a lot of the abuse from her dad and like just dealing with. I honestly think she has depression in these movies. Yeah. And there's a lot of her dealing with that in these movies. And I mean, is it a perfect movie? No. Is it as good as 2 or 1? No. But I mean, I still like it. I go back and rewatch it a lot. I think it's a good movie. I enjoy it.
For me, 3's main problems are basically, for me, is mostly the plot with Sandman, which is a shame because I love the effects they do for Sandman. He looks really good.
Really good effects.
Mostly the fact, they tie him into Uncle Ben's killer.
Which is a harken back to Joker killing Batman's parents in '89, Burton Batman.
And mostly the fact that they waffle on how Peter's supposed to act when he's possessed by the suit.
You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door.
Like when he's out in public, he acts like a goofball. But like when he's fighting, like that scene where he grinds Sandman's face against the oncoming bullet train.
Or the fight with Harry.
Or the fight with Harry where he throws the pumpkin bomb back in his face. Little Goblin Jr.
Gonna cry?
Your
dad hated everything about you.
It's really true because I will admit that was pretty good because it kind of goes into how Peter was technically Norman's prodigal son in a way, just because he was everything that he wanted as a kid.
It's just so much of that fight scene kind of comes off as just.
Yeah. Well, it really goes that fight scene is so lame compared to the fight scene they have at the beginning when he's.
Oh yeah, when he's in the air. I almost feel like they filmed that before they had the other one.
Yeah, I almost wish that we got the fight where he blows up Harry's face first, and then we get the Goblin stuff.
Yeah. But we should just do a video at some point, rewrite Spider-Man 3, make it a better movie. But
we could just do a whole vlog about rewriting movies that we'd like to how we'd fix them.
We totally could.
But anyway, so we'll move on to a movie So I'm a pretty avid hater of the Bayformer films. I find pretty much all of them terrible. And I know most people be like, well, the first one's really good. You just got a marker on your jeans, didn't you?
Yeah, it'll come out. Don't worry about it.
But, and most people will tell you the first one is their favorite, and I gotta solely disagree. I find all the Shia LaBeouf films insufferable just because Shia LaBeouf.
But Megan Fox.
I don't even think Megan Fox is that attractive. And not like that, she does not follow any sort of like safety procedures working in an auto body shop.
No, I know.
Like that scene where she's painting, where she's straddling the...
Oh, and Bay treated her like shit throughout that whole movie. I mean, she's brought that up recently.
Yeah, like that's why she says he's worse than Hitler at one point. But out of the 5 films that they made, and I say that because I haven't seen Bumblebee. I hear people tell me Bumblebee's great. I'm just gonna pass until like because Bay is still the producer of that. A lot of people forget that Bay is still the producer of the Transformer films. But for me, my favorite of the ones that I've seen is probably Transformers: Age of Extinction. Now, like with Spider-Man 3, I don't think this is a good movie. I think it's stupid. The fact that they go into like a 20-minute like explanation of the Romeo and Juliet laws to explain why his daughter could... Despite the fact that his daughter does not look 18. His daughter at best looks like she's like as old as Marky Mark. Like I almost wish Optimus would have been like, wait a minute, you're 18? I'm a talking robot truck, and even I find that hard to believe. But like, I like the film mainly for a couple of things. For one, it focuses more on the Transformers. The fact that Optimus Prime is more of the main character of that film than any of the other films is really refreshing for me. Like, the fact that, like, it focuses on, like, some of their origins, even though I don't completely agree with them using, because, I don't know if you know this, but in the TV show they explain that these weird aliens called the Quintessens made the Transformers.
I've actually never seen any of the Bay movies. Like,
the origin for the TV show is so bad, like, people agree with the comic book version one, where it was literally that there's, like, a robot god and a robot devil, and the robot god became Cybertron and created all the rest of them from his spark.
This reminds me of, like, the symbiote god crap that's in the comics.
Well, to be fair, though, Transformers did it first, and B, it's really more interesting. I don't explain it very well. But, like, they go with the whole idea that, like, these weird aliens made the Transformers to fight or some BS. I like them finally getting Frank Welker to do his role as Megatron, because I've always hated the guy who played Agent Smith was Megatron for, like, the first 3. And it was just weird, because they got the original voice of Optimus, Peter Cullen, to come back and do these films, but not the original Megatron? Like, what, is Frank Welker too busy doing Scooby-Doo movies for Warner Brothers? Get him back to do Megatron. They even had him for Soundwave in 3, except that they don't add the voice modulator.
Batman stuff doesn't use Kevin Conroy. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Just wait for him then.
Yeah, what is he?
If he's busy, just wait.
Like, busy doing what is more my question. Like, what does Conroy do when he's not doing Batman?
It's a good question. I mean, somebody can comment and probably explain, but I mean, I know him most for Batman, but
yeah, like everybody does. But I like that it focuses on the Transformers. I like that. I like Kelsey Grammer as, like, the human villain in that. Like, he's actually fun. I like the fact that, again, like, they don't really focus a lot on the humans, and when they do, that at least Marky Mark isn't as insufferable as Shia LaBeouf.
When you say Marky Mark, all I can picture is Markiplier being in a Transformers movie now.
Although my favorite is the fact that they try to make him, like an inventor. I'm like, yeah, I totally buy Mark Wahlberg as an inventor.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, you like that Iron Man stuff I did there? I fixed Optimus Prime in a cave with a box of scraps.
It's like, no, that doesn't make any sense.
Like, and there's not a lot of stupid human comedy relief. Like, the one that they do have gets murdered, like, partway through.
Yeah.
The introduction of the Dinobots. John Goodman as Hound is amazing. Because, like, Hound is just, like, this, like, he's covered in guns. Like, he has a cigar, like he's a grizzled old war veteran.
Like 90s Cable or some shit like that.
But, like, it's actually a bullet, and at one point he runs out of guns, and he blows through the bullet that he uses in his mouth, and it kills one of the bad guys. My only real complaint with that film is the fact that they try to explain what Transformers are made of, and they call it an element known as transformium.
Oh my god, it sounds like some fanfic.
Oh no.
I take that back, actually. I give fanfic a lot more respect. A lot of fanfics come up with something better than that.
But, Like the best scene is where they have like a Beats by Dr. Dre like headphone made out of stuff, and then it transforms into a My Little Pony doll, and then it turns into a Glock.
Jesus Christ.
I'm like, this is so stupid, but I kind of love it. And the other is, of course, Ken Watanabe as Drift. So I know you don't, but basically Drift was created by some comic book writer. Basically, they wanted to make like a Transformer with like a Japanese, like he was basically a samurai.
Mm-hmm.
And in this, he's a Bugatti, which is a Japanese car. But they make Drift look like a stereotypical samurai, and Ken Watanabe voices him, and I'm like, that's almost racist. Like, legit, like, even more racist than Skids and Mudflap.
Welcome to another segment of Is It Racist?
Oh, but, like, for me, like, Transformers 4 is the one that, like, when people are like, oh, it's just a popcorn flick, you shut your brain off. Transformers 4 is the only one I can do that with, because the other ones are so bad and frustrating.
I mean, you got that up on me, because I've never seen any of them, and I've never had any interest in seeing them.
Like, if I ever made you sit down and watch one, it would be Age of Extinction, just because, again, it has the Dinobots in it, and I can forgive a lot if the Dinobots are in it.
Yeah.
But, so, anyway, if you want to move on to something you want to...
Yeah, this is a movie that I don't claim is good. I don't claim it's a great film. I just have fun watching it. I know you've never seen it, but the live-action Josie and the Pussycats movie.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
And to be fair, I saw it on TV like 4 or 5 years ago. I remember enjoying it, but I don't know if I rewatch it. If I were to rewatch it now, I might have a different opinion. But
to be fair,
as someone who likes the cartoons, like I even like the one where they're in space, which is totally like a Lost in Space.
Oh, isn't that like Josie and the Angels?
No, it's Josie
okay.
and Pussycats in Space. That's literally what it's called.
I know there's like an angel, because I know like Casper went into space by Hanna-Barbera, and it was called Casper and the Angels.
Everybody did an in space thing.
Well, the Angels are weird because like they were originally characters that were in Captain Caveman and the Angels, and to be fair, I don't think most people our age know Captain Caveman except for like if they watched the Flintstone kids growing up.
Yeah.
Captain Caveman and Son.
Yeah, no,
I love Captain Caveman.
I love Flintstones. Anything Flintstones related is good.
No, I just like Captain Caveman.
Except the live action movie. We don't talk about that.
Actually, I like the first one. Viva Rock Vegas is worse. They got Harvey Korman back to do his role as the weird alien that they had in like the later seasons.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Gazook.
Yeah, Gazook. The guy was basically Batmite.
That was such a stupid. Like, and we're getting off track, but
diversion.
I will say from what little I know about it, it at least looks like it's not embarrassed to be doing a Josie and the Pussycats film, like say the Gem and the Holograms movie.
They try to make it realistic, and I mean, it's got some good music in it. It's enjoyable. There's good. I think the acting is good, okay in it. I mean, it's not Oscar level acting, but it's not bad.
It kind of reminded me of the Charlie's Angels movie, live action movies they did, where like those were at least serviceable.
It's at least on the same part, but I mean, like I've seen a lot of people say that movie's bad, and I'm just like, I've never seen anybody say anything bad about it, but I've never seen anybody say anything good about it. It's always something like everybody tries to forget about.
What you saw back there wasn't an advertisement for anything. We were just doing this in a Walmart parking lot. I parked over here because we have the windows cranked because it's like 90 degrees out, and
but
wanted a little breeze, but yeah, no, like. And again, as someone who's seen the Gem and the Holograms movie, where they're so embarrassed to be even doing a Gem and the Holograms film, it's...
Well, and it's weird because, like, I don't know when that movie was made. I want to say, early 2000s?
Early 2000s,
so
late 90s.
So it was even past the point where, like, they were making movies out of cartoons and stuff, like...
I know, because that was the thing in the 90s, and I don't really understand why. Like, there's really only a few of those that I like, and mostly it's the Addams Family movies. Because
the Addams Family movies are great. I love Christine Ricci in those.
Christopher Lloyd as Uncle Fester is great, and the late Raul Julia as Gomez is like. There's few men that I wish to be as amazing as suave, that Gomez. You'd kill for her. I'd kill for her. Gomez, last night you were like a wild beast. Do it again. That movie's great.
Those movies are great.
We
should do a Halloween episode about that soon.
But yeah, another movie I'm trying to think of.
Batman Forever.
Yeah, I like Batman Forever. We've talked about the Batman movies before, and I know that was in my top 10, but like I find Batman Forever to be probably the best thing. Like me is like shows that Schumacher could make good movies, because like. It does have problems like Two-Face and Chase Meridian, but Well, and Chris O'Donnell. But, like, as a whole, I feel like it still had the Tim Burton edge to it a little bit.
Yeah, more so than Batman and Robin did.
And the fact that, like, the commentary on the box where, like, the Riddler more or less wants to use it so that he can, like, have knowledge of everyone's information is kind of more relevant today than it is back then.
Yeah, so I mean, I like Val Kilmer's Batman. I think he does a great job. I don't think enough people give him credit.
Yeah, no, Val Kilmer's great as Batman. He was, he's actually probably my third favorite Batman. Like, and people will probably like, oh, Christian Bale must be on there. No, it's Conroy, Keaton, Kilmer, in that order.
Conroy, West, Keaton, Kilmer.
Yeah, that'd be fair. I kind of put Adam West in his own.
He's never had to announce that he's Batman because he walked in a room and everybody knew who the hell he was.
Not true. But, like, I mean, to be fair, though, I kind of hold West in his own. And just because he's not the typical Batman, so he's almost in his own category. Yeah, he's in a category all his own.
Yeah. If we were going to make a list incorporating everything, I would put him on there. But.
Yeah, but, like I said, like, I really enjoy what it was trying to do. Because, you know, like, Schumacher was told, you need to brighten up these movies. You can't make it as dark as Returns. It needs to be a little bit less dismal because we want to get kids to see it. And we're selling toys.
Because kids were afraid of Returns. There were people that said they were.
I don't know. I feel a lot of that was just parents complaining. You know, the soccer mom. Like, but to be fair,
Karens.
Like, the fact that Tim Burton had the Penguin bite someone's nose off, and like some of the really grim and dark, dismal scenes, like the opening scene with the Penguin's birth, like that would if I were a parent back then, I definitely would have been like, I don't really think you should be watching this. I probably still would have let them keep going unless the kid got scared, but.
Yeah.
But Forever, like I said, it does some things that I enjoy. Like, I love that stupid line. Can I at least offer you a sandwich for the ride, sir? Okay, drive-through. You totally know that was a McDonald's plug-in, but Schumacher loved it so much, he's like, I'll just throw it in.
Fun fact, because of this movie, Bill Elliott, little NASCAR reference here, Bill Elliott actually ran a Batman scheme.
Oh, okay.
Because his main sponsor was McDonald's.
Oh, okay, that would, yeah.
So they did a tie-in.
But like I said, like, I know Forever's not, like, a great movie, but it's definitely not terrible like some people will argue. Like, some people will tell you it's as bad as Batman and Robin. And
it's not nearly as bad as Batman and Robin.
Especially because, like...
That comes from someone... I will actually defend parts of Batman and Robin, if only because I like Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy.
Yeah. To be fair, I enjoy Batman and Robin more... Ironically. Like, it's funny for me. Like, it's good, bad... It's so bad it's good for me. Like, it's not like I can't sit through it. Like, there's so many people that are like, oh, it's so garbage. How can you even watch it? I'm like, it's really funny. Like, Schwarzenegger's hilarious in that movie.
Everybody,
chill. Like, you can clearly tell Schwarzenegger knew this movie was going to be bad.
So he just had fun with
it. Like, because that's what Schwarzenegger does. If he's in a bad movie, he's like, well, I'm getting paid anyway, so what do I care if it's bad? I'm just going to have fun.
The guy was in Conan the Destroyer and Red Sonja. Yeah. What does that tell you? And he hates Red Sonja with a passion.
Well, he was in Junior. Now, there's a movie nobody talks about. But, you know, like I said, like, you know, I get Forever is not perfect, but it, like, the fact that it goes in, like, a character study piece for Bruce, that, like, now he doesn't just fight because he wants vengeance, he fights because he chooses to be Batman, that he wants to better himself as Batman, which I feel like a lot of comic book writers nowadays can't get that idea in their heads that Batman needs to be Bruce is improving.
No, man, Batman has to be miserable. That's why he can't marry Catwoman.
Yeah, thanks, Tom King. So might as well, since we're jumping, you brought up Adam West, we can move into TV shows. I feel like for a long time, the Adam West Batman TV series got a lot of hate. Like, that's the whole reason why the Tim Burton films were even made, because they wanted to make
Yeah, and I've always been someone that I've always enjoyed the 60s show.
In fact,
it's obviously not grim, and it's meant to have fun, you know?
Yeah.
It's fun to watch. I actually enjoy it, but only because I've always had a soft spot for Golden Age period stuff. So, I mean, that's really what it is.
And that's one of the reasons why I like it, because if you wanted a representation of the Batman of that era, that's like, it's way better than trying to dig up books, because some of them books are woof. Hey, do you want to read a comic where Batman gets turned to a baby? Do you want to do one?
Yeah, because that was the fixation back in the Bronze Age, which turned everybody into babies.
That was about.
Issue 4, I believe, of Supergirl in Golden Age, that happens.
That and, like, the weird, like, fetishy stuff. Like, where Supergirl tries to get Superman to fall in love with a alternate universe version of herself.
Yeah, it's just, that was the thing back then, because, I mean, that's always been a thing. I mean, Wonder Woman's whole creation ties a lot into that, but that's beside the point. I'm writing a dissertation on comic books back in the 50s and 40s, so I have some familiarity with
Let me tell
all
you,
this stuff.
Like, the whole Tot thing is how we got Donna Troy.
Yeah.
With Wonder Girl and Wonder Tot. Because someone was like, oh, let's have Wonder Girl be in the Titans. That's her sidekick, right? No, she's...
That's her sister.
No, like, Wonder Tot was actually supposed... Wonder Girl was
I thought you
actually
were
supposed
talking
to
about Donna, my bad.
Oh, no, I'm getting there. But originally, Wonder Girl was just a time-traveling Diana. So, like, oh, no, that's Donna Troy, her sister. And now she has to get, like, a different origin every time they reboot.
Now we have Cassie, too.
Which Cassie are we talking about?
Isn't there another Wonder Girl named Cassie?
Oh, Cassie Sandmark. The less said about her, the better.
But no, I've always enjoyed 60s Batman. I mean, if not just for the fact it's funny. It's fun to watch.
The TV movie's great. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. Like,
there are 6 men on a boat. Each of them have a cigarette, but none of them have any matches. So how do they smoke? The answer is simple, Robin. They throw one cigarette overboard and make the boat a cigarette lighter. That's the first episode.
No.
That's the first episode, and that's what they're hitting you with. That's funny.
Like Frank Gorshin's Riddler, Cesar Romero as the Joker. I argue that most mainstream Jokers, like the acting wise, is based off him. And without this show, we wouldn't have Alfred. Because this was the show where they made Alfred.
My favorite portrayal of anyone on the show.
Oh.
Julie Newmar as Catwoman.
Oh yeah, to be fair, Julie Newmar is like anytime a Catwoman says perfect, it's because of her.
Yeah.
Her and
I'm so happy she came back for those 2 animated movies.
Yeah,
too.
her and Eartha Kitt, really. Because I love Eartha Kitt in that show as well.
Because all 3 of them, I believe, are in the second animated.
Yeah.
60s Batman?
No, it's in the first.
Oh, is it the first?
Batman gets hit on the head.
He gets hit. And he's like, I'm seeing triple. You say that like it's a bad thing.
and it's like all the different Catwoman actresses, and that was really great. My only complaint with those is they don't bring Batgirl in. Like
well, obviously it's because Yvonne Craig was, I believe she had unfortunately passed away by the time they made those, and they didn't obviously want to replace her.
Yeah, because I get, which is a shame because if anyone I'd argue probably get the girl who does Daphne currently in the Scooby Doo shows.
I can't remember. You could have even got Tara maybe.
Yeah, or Tara. Like as much as I know that and I'm not saying that she should be sacrilegious, but like if it just seemed weird because like. Batgirl was so inherently tied to the later seasons of that show, it was just kind of weird. But I didn't know about her death, sadly.
Yeah, like I said, I believe, and I'm not positive on that, I believe she passed away right around the time they made those.
Which is a shame, because that was actually, I think, the last time Adam West got to portray Batman, which was...
It was, and I actually believe he passed away before it was even released.
Yeah.
Because I believe there's a posthumous credit in the beginning.
Because the second film was great because they actually did Two-Face, which the show wanted to do for a long time, and they got
Shatner.
Yeah, they got Shatner to do Two-Face. I'm like,
perfect.
I would have loved him as Two-Face in the actual TV show because and that's probably one of the only.
Why don't you try your luck?
But it was hilarious. It was like they really hit up that I think Bruce was really gay for Two-Face in that movie. Especially with Robin being super jealous of their friendship. I'm like, are we finally admitting that Batman and Robin in this universe are gay?
I enjoyed in the first one. I believe it's the first one. Yeah, it is. It's the first one. The end scene with Catwoman.
Oh yeah, we're
so I'll surrender on one condition. We run away to Paris together. Which is obviously a Dark Knight Rises reference, but
I can't make that happen. I do love in the first movie where they turn him evil, so he starts quoting The Dark Knight Returns. This is an operating table, chum. This is a mud pit, chum, old chum. It's an operating table, and I'm the surgeon. Like if he were still alive, I would love for him to just
redub. It's like us wanting Mark
the Dark Knight Returns,
or it's like us wanting Mark Hamill to overdub Dark Knight over Ledger's performance, because that would be freaking perfect. Because he's actually done some of his lines.
Because he's done the "Why So Serious" line before, and it's hilarious every time he does it.
He's done the "Why." You want to know how I got these scars line too?
Yeah. You want to know how I got these scars?
It's so, and he does it. It's so creepy.
Yeah. But and to be fair, I feel like now this was one that we were saying, like people have gotten to like more. I think mostly just because of the fact that like Batman v Superman and Justice League were so bad, people kind of wanted a brighter, happier Batman.
Yeah, we've kind of swung the opposite end of the spectrum now.
Yeah,
the pendulum has swung the other way.
Because like I always say my favorite Batman is the animated series because it does both really well.
Yeah,
it does silly, but it also does serious. Which is how I like Batman. I like my Batman in not quite Adam West, but not Batman Returns.
Batman, save me! What are you waiting on?
Batman!
I'm thinking about it.
You wouldn't let me fall? Batman!
I'm thinking about it.
Oh no, he definitely was thinking about it. Like
that's the Batman I know.
Well, then that's also the same Batman who, when he found the Rat King, was torturing all them children. I'm not judge, jury, and executioner. That's for the courts to decide. But this time I was sorely mistaken to do the job myself. And then you never saw Rat King again. Like, that scared the Rat King so bad he went straight. That or someone in Arkham did not like child abusers.
Someone in Arkham probably killed him.
Oh, someone in Arkham probably killed that dude because he abused children. I bet it was Harvey.
Probably Harvey, honestly.
I was like, I don't even need my coin to decide your fate. But yeah, like I said, like that's one of those ones that I feel like we've kind of come around, especially with how bad Batman and Robin was, which I think was really one of the bigger because people are like, well, it's too much like the TV show. I'm like, nah, the TV show's actually funny on purpose.
Yeah, the TV show tries to be like that.
Yeah, like I mean, the fact that they met Kano and the Green Hornet.
I'm gonna hit you so hard, words are gonna come out of you.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, sorry, I thought we were. So why don't we move on to maybe the TV show you want to talk about, or whatever.
Yeah, because I mean, we were gonna bring up Amazing Spider-Man, but I feel
we
like
can do the Amazing Spider-Man now if you want.
There's not really much to say other than that. I think the first one's good. The second one is flat out terrible.
For me, it's one of those like there's definitely it's like Spider-Man 3 for me. Like there's a good movie in there.
It's underneath.
It's underneath so much
filter
garbage.
And fat.
Hey, Mr. Connors, what's that? Oh, Peter, this here? This was a prototype of a gas dispersal system that allowed us to cover a whole city in gas so we could cure smallpox. But someone was like, that's stupid. Someone could have put actual smallpox in there and kill like a whole city.
Maybe he's just trying to do something that the police can't.
Well, gee, I wonder if your boyfriend's Spider-Man there, Gwendy.
But no, like I like parts of that movie, but like you said, there's a good movie in there.
Yeah, it's just bogged down by so
What
much.
I like is people that say that movie's better than 3. No, that movie's not better than 3.
I'm sorry.
3 is better than that movie by a freaking long shot.
Especially because they try to make like Spider-Man himself super dark.
And like more realistic.
Yeah, like, which is funny because like I feel like Amazing 2 kind of fixes that a little bit.
Yeah, but
the
problem is Amazing 2 has its own crap.
Yeah,
going
no,
on.
it's too little too late. Like that scene where he's juggling the radioactive isotopes, trying not to make them explode, was kind of funny, but like at the same time, I'm like that's a little too goofy for this type of movie.
Yeah, so I mean that's all I had to say about this. So I'm gonna ignore one of the TV shows I put down because I feel like it's probably a little too new.
Well,
I want to talk about Ultimate. Spider-Man Unlimited, like the Batman Beyond
one. Yeah, you're gonna probably. Oh, you're talking about Unlimited.
Yeah,
okay.
Spider-Man, Unlimited Spider-Man, the newer one. That's not what I'm gonna talk about. The one with Drake Bell.
Okay, you're talking
Spider-Man Unlimited, the one from the '90s.
Yeah, with the PS1 voice actor for Spider-Man.
I actually loved that show as a kid. I still like that show. I love the costume in it. I actually am really hoping Insomniac will put that in the second Spider-Man game.
That'd be nice, like, because I like that costume myself.
It has issues.
Like, the whole premise of Spider-Man goes to a different Earth.
To rescue Jack Jameson.
Yeah, John Jameson.
And Carnage and Venom sneak along.
Yeah. It's weird, especially because I'm not a big... I like a lot of the stuff in there, but I do not like the redesigns of Venom and Carnage in that. Carnage especially. Like, Venom's fine because he's just really muscular and bulky.
Carnage just looks weird.
Like, they were trying to make him, like, really alien-looking. And, like, they were trying to make, like, an army of symbiotes on that planet for, like... I don't even know who the bad guys they were working for.
Honestly, it's been so long since I've seen it because I actually downloaded all of it. I found it on archive.org.
And then, like,
you know me, I'm actually waiting to buy a Blu-ray of it because I found a fan-made one.
And, like, they do this weird thing where Spider-Man gets mutated at one point and becomes, like, the Man-Spider again.
Yeah.
Because, like, one of the problems is they try to make that movie be, like, taking place in the same as the original 90s show. And I'm like, no, it's not. Because
MJ is there. They have no explanation about what happened to MJ at the end of TAS.
Yeah. The scene, when they show him fighting Doc Ock in some archive footage, that's not how Doc Ock looked. That's like classic comic book Doc Ock.
I mean,
that's not the same Doc Ock.
You can make the argument that's just it. You can make the argument it's like a Batman TAS and Batman Season 4 type thing. But
but at the same time, there was a lot more that made that make more sense. Like Batman still pretty much looks like he does in the first series.
It's just a lot of the costumes have redesigned.
And then his body's now a Dorito instead of being all roundy, like Captain America, the best Captain America. But I will admit there is some interesting stuff there. Like I like the suit. I at least like that they were trying to do something kind of different. Like I can at least give them, but otherwise it's hard for me to really enjoy that. But
I love the theme song.
The theme song's pretty good.
I think Unlimited's main problem is that it came right after Batman Beyond.
Oh, definitely.
So you could totally tell they were trying to do a Batman Beyond.
It was so trying to do Batman Beyond.
That's not necessarily a bad thing because, like I said, I like Spider-Man.
Yeah, but
I think it does some cool stuff.
But the problem is if you compare that to Batman Beyond,
it's not nearly as good as Batman Beyond.
Oh, it's so not as good as Batman Beyond. Especially because, in my opinion, if they wanted to do that, they should have just done 2099. They should have said, you know what, we're doing a Spider-Man 2099 TV show.
Well, I feel like they wanted to, and I think there was something that made them maybe people won't like it because it's not Peter, so we should just make a new thing with Peter.
Yeah,
that's probably what it was.
To me, if that was the case, then just have Peter get sent into the future,
like an Edge of Time type thing.
And he just dons a new costume that he makes out of the tech there.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you have anything else to add? Because
not really. You pretty much nailed it. Everything I said about that. I do like the Goblin in that.
Yeah.
The heroic Green Goblin.
The only other Spidey thing I have written down is Clone Saga.
Oh, here we go. To be fair, I will agree with you. I think there is some good stuff in the Clone Saga. I don't know if it's enough for me to warrant that I think I like it. I like parts of it.
This is my thing, and as he can attest, I have the more recent hardback bound omnibuses for Clone Saga. There's 2 volumes.
Oh, they're thicker than the Bible.
The Ben Reilly one, there's 2. I think there's going to be another Ben Reilly one because there's only 1 right now. Yep. I joke you not, if I put them, because I have them all side by side. He's seen them. It's like this thick.
Yeah, they're thicker than the Bible.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in there, and that's a complaint I have about Clone Saga.
Oh yeah,
is that I love the idea of Clone Saga, but my problem is there's so much fat.
Yeah,
especially that they could have just trimmed out, and it would have been great.
And it doesn't help that there's way too many cooks in the kitchen. I think Howard Mackey was supposed to be the main writer of it, but eventually there were just all sorts of different writers. No, Howard Mackey was the guy who had to end it. But there was so many different writers and people because
I'm pretty sure DeFalco was involved at one point.
In the Life of Riley, they even talk about how it got so bad to the point that they just kept losing writers to it, and they had to keep adding in new writers, and some of them were so new that they didn't know what they were doing.
Like I said, my reasons for liking it is I like Ben Reilly. I love Ben's Spider-Man costume, the one that Mayday later gets, and that's. I think a lot of my love of Clone Saga comes from the fact that I love Mayday Parker from the original Spider-Girl series, which is a direct offshoot of this.
And to be fair, it's probably the only good thing to come out of the Clone Saga, because after this, Spider-Man just went downhill. The final chapter, I think the only good story to come out after it was probably Hobgoblin Lives. And even then, that's a book fixing a story that should have never been broken before. The storyline where MJ goes missing
is decent in parts of it, but a lot of it is just dredge.
Yeah, especially because it's just Peter being depressed for most of it, or really weird stuff.
That was their first time they tried ending the marriage.
Or really weird stuff like having everyone be like, "No, Peter, she's dead. You got to move on, dude. Her corpse hasn't even been put in the ground. You got to move on. You got to move on before that corpse goes cold."
Yeah, that's just
because the writer's like, no, you gotta move on, Peter, and I'm like,
it's so awkward, and it comes off being very, very insulting to anybody that likes MJ.
Even though Peter's depressed and that, I'm like, no, Peter, you fight for your girl. Don't let people tell you what to do.
But yeah, like I said, probably the best thing to come out of it was, and as much as it was Spider-Girl coming out of it, because Spider-Girl's a direct result of Clone Saga. And like I said, I like Ben's Spider-Man suit that Mayday later gets. I love that suit. I always have. I actually would argue that's probably my 3rd favorite Spider-Man costume of all time.
I feel like his debut as the Scarlet Spider because he fights Venom.
Yeah, which is actually in Separation Anxiety.
Yeah, and he does it really well because, like...
I just recently bought Separation Anxiety on Omnibus.
So. If you're wondering why I'm so close to the camera, I dropped an M&M on the floor. But, I like that story just because, like, it was so frustrating that, like, for most of Spider-Man's fights with Venom, he had to have, like, the Fantastic Four or, like someone bail him out.
And Ben just goes and just beats the living shit out of him.
Which was, to be fair, done because they're like, well, obviously the clone wouldn't be able to handle Venom, so clearly Peter's the clone. But for me, it's more no. Ben's actually not afraid of Venom.
Well, and I know Maximum Clonage gets a lot of hate, but I like the final battle with Norman and Ben and Peter.
No, that's not Maximum Clonage. That's the final chapter.
Oh, is that final chapter?
Yeah,
I thought that was Maximum
Clonage is the one with Spider-Side and the...
Oh, yeah, my bad. I got this. My bad.
To be fair, Maximum Clonage was actually where the story was supposed to end.
Yeah.
That's why they did the Alpha and Omega chapters, because they were... Like, the whole reason they did the Clone Saga is because they're like, we want to do something that, like, what they did with X-Men with Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Down to having an issue Alpha and an issue Omega. But...
I mean, the final chapter battle with Norman and
the final
Peter,
chapter
that's
battle's
a great battle.
Especially when Peter rips the masks off. He's like, this isn't a fight between the Goblin and Spider-Man. This is a fight between you and me. Peter Parker and Norman Osborn.
Yeah, and there's just that great moment where Norman's just like, how many times? What do I have to do to you to make you stop getting up?
Yeah, and then Peter's just like, hey, there ain't nothing that you can do because I'm doing it to spite you. But yeah, there is good stuff in there. It's just, you have to wade through a lot.
And I think that's why, I mean, it's telling that, for those that don't know, there's another version of Clone Saga.
Yeah.
Written by, I think Tom DeFalco's
Oh, yeah,
DeFalco's the real Clone Saga.
Yeah, it's called the real Clone Saga.
And I think it's only like...
6 issues.
It's only like 153 pages, if that.
Yeah, it's
like
the
6
omnibus.
Issues. The omnibus is like that thin in comparison to like 3 different Bibles shoved together.
To me, I don't mind that story, but it's too short. Like, it should have been 12 issues for me. Like, it should have been like a yearly
with the telling of that
series.
because it's just weird.
It's weird.
What happens to Mayday in that is so frustrating.
Yeah. Like, I will admit I like the ending because Ben lives, but because for me, if I could ever do a new series, I would do it where Ben lived and he's actually training Annie to be his successor.
Who you mean, Mayday?
Or Mayday, sorry. He has too many daughters.
He only has 2.
That's too many.
I know. I will gladly pay for more Spider-Girls comics where it's Annie and Mayday just doing stuff. I will gladly pay for these.
But like, I would love if like Peter's like, nah, I'm gonna be a dad and you're gonna be Spider-Man. And like Ben's like, all right, and then Ben like is like an uncle and like he's training Mayday to use her powers responsibly.
Yeah.
I would love that. But yeah, like I said, there's a lot of good, but there's also a lot of bad. Like, yeah. Which is just true of a lot of 90s. In fact, if you don't mind, I got one. I really like Nightfall.
I think a lot of people like Nightfall.
I think the problem is with that, like, it's also too long. I know a lot of people are like, nah, it's way too 90s. Especially because people do not like the Azrael outfit. Which I think was actually the point. Like, because literally, like, Joe Quesada designed that suit.
I think No Man's Land's better, but that's just me.
It arguably it is. I like both, and I think No Man's Land is better. But I like Nightfall just because, like, I like the idea of them showing why Batman should not kill and what happens if you get a psychopath Batman.
Yeah.
That's why I like it so much. Well, I mean, to be fair, the Batman Who Laughs is clearly supposed to be a villain. But for me, I think it has the same problem because it's technically 3 arcs and both are like ludicrously long. All of them are ludicrously long. You have Nightfall, which is, you know, like the whole story leading up to Batman getting his back broken and like him getting his back broken. And then you have Night Quest, where Bruce goes off to help rescue this doctor that's helping him, or no, Tim Drake's dad who gets kidnapped, which leads into him getting his back fixed because his girlfriend's a psychic or something, and then she gets reduced to a little girl. It's weird. And then, of course, you have Night's End, where Bruce is retraining his body so that he can stop John Paul Valley and prove once for all that he's Batman. Which I like that. I like that. I think there's at least a decent like beginning, middle, and end. The middle's too long, but like I think that they definitely knew what they wanted to do with the story. That's why I think it works better than Clone Saga in ways, just because it clearly did have a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
Or like we want to show Batman like, you know, at his lowest point, this new Batman who clearly is dangerous and unhinged, and then Bruce retaking the mantle back. Like for me, that's why it works so well. I will admit there's some doofy stuff in it, like the stupid cowboy characters, like the twins who rob trains and are supposedly a threat to Batman. Like legitimately, they make Condiment King look more like an actual villain than.
Tell me if you can't cut the mustard.
Look, mustard guy, I'm only gonna just
You're
go.
obviously new at this. I'm gonna cut you a break.
Just go and never let me see you again. And
The whole Condiment King is amazing.
No, Condiment King is amazing, and I hate people who are like, no, you're so lame and stupid. I'm like, that's the point.
Like a coworker of ours, to quote a coworker of ours who had no idea about Condiment King until I showed it to him.
Yeah.
It's like, you're telling me we got a serial killer clown, and you're gonna hit me with wanting to stain my clothes with some mustard.
I mean, if to be fair, most superheroes in the DC universe don't even understand why he has such problems with the Joker, because let's be honest, he's a clown.
And then they actually found out what Joker's capable of, and they're like, holy shit.
Yeah, no. If I could go on to another story that I think,
Yeah, because we'll do that, and then I'll wrap up with my music choice, I guess.
Actually, I don't think I really have another comic book one. I just want to talk about Nightfall real quick. Yeah, why don't we move on to music?
The band that everybody loves to hate, Nickelback.
Now, to be fair,
I actually like Nickelback.
To be fair, I think
a lot.
part of the problem, and this is true of a lot of music, if it got really overplayed on the radio, or like it got really like, because I feel like that's true of like some video games and other stuff, especially anime. Like I hate
Dragon Ball Z.
I hate that people are like, well, Dragon Ball Z is too kiddie and it's for kids, and like I bet you haven't even watched like an OVA or something like more unknown. Like you just like the corporate stuff. You sold out to the man, it sort of thing. Like there's a gatekeeping to that where it's like, oh, you like the stuff everybody else likes. Well, obviously, you have garbage taste, and I feel like that's kind of the problem with Nickelback.
I mean, am I claiming that I kiss the ground they walk on? No. But at the same time, there's a lot of good Nickelback out there.
I like Other Side of a Bullet. That's a great song.
Yeah, I mean, like, The State is a good album. Silver Side Up with like How You Remind Me is a great song.
How You Remind Me is great, yeah, in general.
There's a reason that was like the most played song of the 2000s.
Yeah.
Too Bad. Where Do I Hide? Good Time Gone.
I admittedly like Rockstar, even though I think it's kind of a...
I like Rockstar.
I like Next Contestant.
The only one I don't really care for is Photograph, and that's just I've heard that thing played to the ground.
And to be fair, I think that's another thing. Like, there's this thing where something is memed, people instantly think it's bad because it got memed.
Yeah.
Never mind that most people do memes because they either think it's funny or like they love it so much that they meme it. Like memes do not necessarily make it bad. Like that was the thing with like whenever new Pokemon come out and people make memes of it, they're like, well, obviously this Pokemon is terrible because everyone's making memes of it. And I'm like,
yeah, it's not necessarily
like for me, like if you make memes,
I've been a Nickelback fan since 2002.
Yeah,
like seriously, they're in Spider-Man for God's sake.
That's probably the reason why you and I like Nickelback so much, is because he's in they did Hero, even though that was technically Chad Kroeger and someone else, like you like to tell me all the time.
That's the thing. I'll be
Let me
playing,
tell you about this man.
I'll be playing Nickelback and he'll be like, I'll put Hero on. He's like, stop with the Nickelback. I'm like, technically it's Chad Kroeger featuring Josie Scott.
You know, it's technically not Nickelback. It's technically not Nickelback. That's you. That's what you sound like.
It's true though.
It's not true.
Yes, it is.
You a liar. You a filthy liar.
It's credited on iTunes as being Chad Kroeger.
How do you sleep at night being such a liar?
But no, I mean, I understand. Like people are like, oh, I don't like Nickelback because they got really overplayed. I'm like, that's a valid complaint. It's just, I like a lot of album cuts from them.
Yeah.
That's
honestly,
why I say Silver Side Up's one of my favorite albums.
It's kind of like why people look at me weird when they say I like Fall Out Boy, because I'm definitely not the kind of people that really praise Fall Out Boy, but like
I like my songs Know What You Did in the Dark. But that's about it.
I mostly just like their stuff because like when I was in high school, that was during the dirty South hip hop stuff, so like there wasn't a lot for me to enjoy music wise, and Fall Out Boy at least was kind of rock music. So they kind of have a soft spot for them.
Yeah.
But like I'll admit that it's a weird, and probably also because like that was where I listened to them a lot when I used to find old AMVs back in the really early days of YouTube.
It's like Linkin Park.
Oh man. Oh, it's totally like Linkin Park. But yeah, you know, like I agree with you. Like Nickelback, I think gets treated a lot harsher than they really should be. I mean, if you like the jokes, like fair, but like I kind of agree with Deadpool.
I make jokes about them a lot, and I love them as a band.
I kind of agree with Deadpool and Once Upon a Deadpool about how like if they really are that bad, like why do we all talk about them so much?
Why have they sold so many albums?
Yeah, like why do they?
My old boss at where we work was fond of saying, if everybody hates Creed and Nickelback as much as they say they do, why have they sold so many albums?
It's true. You know, and to be fair, like I said, that's the thing with music for me is that there are so many people that like are such snooty, like artsy fartsy people about music. Yeah, about gatekeepers about music. Where it's like, oh, you like the stuff everyone else likes. Well, you're a filthy casual. I hate that attitude. It's the same attitude I have with anime. Where it's
the
like
same thing about comics.
Yeah, like I like I like a lot of anime just because I don't like the weird stuff that nobody else talks about doesn't mean I don't like anime.
Yeah.
And speaking of anime, I guess I can go into something you won't have as much to talk about, but like I really like this anime called Golden Boy, which is like a really bad 90s OVA. I love watching old 90s OVAs just because of how kind of bad they are. But like a lot of people I know were like, well, that's just they're so bad, how can you like them? I'm like,
it's like early 2000s music videos.
Yeah, like there's a charm to them just because of how bad they are. But yeah, so I think in general, like I think it's always fun to talk about stuff you like but nobody else does, or the opposite end.
There are some people that like they'll like something but they're like almost ashamed to talk about it.
No, like and to be fair, a lot of these for us are guilty pleasures. But there's nothing wrong with guilty pleasures. Everybody has them.
Yeah.
For instance, I like My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I'm not a brony or anything like that, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like I just don't admit to people because I know I'll get weird looks. Like I'm getting one right now. I look at him in his eyes. He's like,
no, I zoned out for a minute. Sorry.
No, I know. I'm just being smart. Like, but you know, like everybody has them. There's nothing wrong with having guilty pleasures about stuff. Like
It's because I reside at 209. You're at 208.
This is what I have to work with.
Somewhere I wanna be with.
Got to be the honey with the $1 million butt. You know, that probably is the other reason. Chad Kroger kind of sounds like a butt.
He doesn't sound like that anymore because of that throat gift he had.
I always have to imagine what it's like when someone calls him and he answers the phone. Hello.
Give the man some sympathy. He was married to Avril Lavigne for like 4 years.
That blows my mind that he was married to Avril Lavigne.
I remember when I told you that, you thought I was like kidding. I was like, no. I even had to look it up and show it to him. I'm like, no, I'm being dead serious.
Oh man, especially because like my cousin went through a goth phase, and she totally looked like Avril Lavigne when she was in her goth phase. It was so funny. And don't, by the way, don't look up current Avril Lavigne. She's become a joke of herself. Like, at least back when she first started, you could tell she
has some sense of respectability. I mean, her latest album wasn't that bad.
Yeah, Avril Lavigne has not aged very gracefully in terms of her music. So I think that about wraps it up. It's getting really hot.
Yeah, so we kind of want to wrap this up.
I can't tell if you can tell, but like I've got like a sheen.
I've got some sweat going on, but hope you guys enjoyed this. You know, just us talking about stuff that we like that a lot of people don't. I mean. Yeah. If you want, I mean, we could probably do another video sometime. Yeah,
talking about stuff we don't like that everybody likes. Because I've got some stuff.
Same here, honestly.
Oh, you know one thing I will bring up.
Dark Knight Rises, I know.
I know. We're gonna have to do a Nolan thing one of these days just to talk about our feelings on the Nolan movies.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode, guys. You know, usual stuff. Like, comment, subscribe,
and as always,
remember the hyphen.
Till then, take care.